come back with another installment of the story. A brief while before the long white-robed stranger came to rest a day or two at the painter's three-room abode. He had 5 or 6 days previous to spent about a week with the metal smelt, and the metal smelt's wife and 3 children. Besides all sorts of metal-changing mechanisms he invented, he revisited the varied and various types of kilnick devices God had given humanity's earth, with its multitudinous elements, to invest them thereupon. Realizing also the mathematical perfection of a game of chess, the metal smelt made a barometer windmill type of gadget that served his purposes in many and various ways. I think I already read that part. It goes on now. And the long white-robed stranger, as the soup of ancient time claymage, slowly roasted in a big iron stove, the outside of whose belly was sculptured with scenes with scenes of town square lounging peoples of different Christian worships, the differences whereof were much less evident than the similarities they had with one another. Above and below them were woven gestalt-salted patterns of proudly visaged design. The uppermost brim of the iron stove was of a network trimmed in golds and silvers. Attached at both sides to the pole of rolling parsonage, the stove in question stood, perhaps, 4 feet above a crackling flame, the sticks of which had, by the metal smelt and the long white-robed stranger, been gathered from the twigs of the rolling oak and summery pine outside, earlier in that day. As the supper meals ever so slowly came to a roast above the flames, the plumes of somehow already antiquated smoke letting out through letting out through an octagonically pervasive hole in the ceiling of the village house of long ago set into place mortar and stone. The man in the long white robe, loop of braided rope for a belt, and worn-out sandals taught a long while to the metal smelt and his family about a particular form of idealism he himself believed, if practiced, would bring great new tidings of neighborly love to the rolling green lands of valley, mid-earth, and overwatching steeps from which he recently came. I can prove to all and each of you, wonderful children of God, the 3-week bearded and white-robed stranger said, that you are recreated exactly from your heavenly Father's image. Just study your faces in a mirror. Each one of you has 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 lips, and 2 ears. That adds up to the number 8, and 8 is the number most erudite of infinity. Now there are waters in faraway lands, heated pools of water that bring both calm well-being and luminous comfort to mind, body, and soul, he kindly told them all as they all sat gathered at table. But there are men living under unwanted stars, cruel stars that invade the Lord's heavens and send these poor men, once upon a long while past, who had lived normal lives deep into the shoreline's wave-rocked caves and caverns. And these poor souls are driven to madness wherein dark spirits taunt and curse their former peace of mind. Sometimes these evil spirits drive them to a solitude in which they must hide from those who would fear their screams. Now, I am on a 12-year sojourn, trying in place after place to bring to pass, especially, the deep-rooted world of love and peace that would resonate from the world's commitment to not only the 10, but the first 3 arbitrary laws most attainable of most attainable peace, shared by all. I will have 3 years given me by the fathers when I return home, in which to bring to pass an oral message, of which what I just told you will serve as the overture. Many things I say to the multitudes of truth contained within, I will need to partially disguise within the parables and illusions, because of the nature of evolution itself and the changing of mind and souls, interpretation with the passage of time that dates different forms of thought. And it is natural for the human thought process to correct its mistaken thoughts with each new passage of philosophy of physics and theology and spirituality. We all, if it wasn't for our past mistakes, we wouldn't learn. So that's why Jesus spoke a lot of those things, he said, in parables and allegories and stuff like that. So that's why the Bible should not be taken absolutely literally at all times, just for that reason alone. And so that's the end of the next chapter, and I will be returning to the people who come inland on the canoe and the people who live in the highlands, and the interconnections that all these different people have in this story. And I hope everybody's doing good. It's now sunset, and I'm having a blast with my life right now. God bless all of you.